and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and today we get details about this year's annual Porchfest Quincy celebrations. Coming up later on this month, we'll also meet a band that'll be performing. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, we have some hazy sunshine. It's already 86 degrees. I think we'll hit 90 today. Look out for some afternoon and evening thunderstorms as well. Tonight, muggy conditions. Lows drop off into the upper 60s, and a very summer-like forecast for the upcoming weekend. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, quite warm, still rather sticky too, with a high upper 80s to near 90. Looks a little unsettled on Sunday afternoon. Sunny, hazy in the morning, and then some afternoon showers. A high again near 90 degrees, and some relief here on Monday with a mix of sun and clouds. Lower humidity and a little bit cooler too, with Monday's highs in the lower 80s. Again, right now, some hazy sunshine, 86 degrees in Quincy. Checking out the news for you today, the Quincy City Council continues to debate a proposal to purchase the former Eastern Nazarene College property. Finance Committee last night learned that the president and chairman of the board of the former college have both offered to meet with city councilors informally to discuss the proposal this coming Monday. The chair of the Finance Committee, Ward 6 City Councilor Deb Riley, says there are strong opinions on both sides of the issue.
It is definitely a unique opportunity, but it is also an incredible financial burden that we will be assuming for the next generation. The other thing I'll say is this is not a ward matter. This is going to be a burden and a benefit to everybody in the city. And equally, I am hearing, equally 30% of the people want to move forward with this, no matter what the risk and cost. 30% think it's absolutely insane, and 30% are indifferent. They don't really care. And I every single day, I'm getting pretty much the same feedback from people.
City Solicitor Jim Timmons said that any meeting between councilors and the ENC president or the chairman would have to include no more than 4 city councilors to avoid an open meeting law violation. Ward 5 councilor Maggie McKee said that she met with the college president, who informed her that ENC would not extend the Monday deadline for the city to make a decision about the purchase. The issue is on the agenda for Monday night's meeting. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says he's been working with Aspire Health Alliance for several years about relocating their Step 1 early intervention program from the Molly Hirschberg Learning Center in Squantum. Now, the mayor says Aspire wanted to move that program that provides services for babies and toddlers with developmental needs ever since the pandemic.
Well, every time we make a decision, there's people aren't necessarily happy with that decision. This has been going on for months. There's a lot of notice given by the Aspire folks. They're consolidating. They're changing their programming up as well. So the program is not what it used to be out there, not nearly as robust. Once they went to COVID and they started teaching remotely, it changed the game dramatically. So the numbers aren't what they were at all. And they want to consolidate and create some different energy around it. And so, we've been working with them. And, as I said, not everyone is happy with decisions we make, but I think they're going to be well served in the new location. It's not like the program's going away.
Aspire says the program that serves children through age 3 from Quincy, Milton, and Randolph will relocate to their headquarters on Miller Street in West Quincy on June 30th. Some parents worry that the new location's too small and has no outdoor space, but Aspire says it will accommodate the program. The mayor says the city-owned building on Moon Island Road in Squantum will be renovated as a new cultural center for the Massachusetts tribe, along with a statue of their ancient leader, Chickatawbut, and may open this fall. Quincy voters who failed to return their city census forms are now being notified that they have been placed on the inactive voter list. June 1st was the deadline for census forms to be returned, but City Clerk Nicole Crispo says it's still easy to get back on the active voter list.
Send that back as quick as you can, because Secretary Galvin is going to be sending out that do you wish to vote by mail card right after the right after July 1st. You can get those cards back so we can process them in order to then get the other cards back to process them, and so things aren't overlapping. That would be great.
Crispo says up to 20,000 voters are being notified. They are on the inactive voter list. She says voters who are inactive will still be able to vote in this year's state election. However, they must show proof of Quincy residency when they cast their ballots. 5 Quincy police officers are being recognized for their professionalism after responding to a domestic homicide case last year. The officers were recently presented with the Dana Award during the annual Law Day ceremony held at the Quincy District Courthouse. Retiring Norfolk County District Attorney Mike Morrissey said the officers were true professionals when they responded to a bloody incident at a Falls Boulevard condo last December, where a man had killed his girlfriend and tried to kill himself.
Despite the emotional toll of all the first responders can experience from witnessing such horrific sight, the officers rapidly secured the scene, coordinated with responding personnel, and rendering life-saving aid to the critically injured homicide suspect. Even in the face of anger, grief, and shock, these officers upheld the oath and the rule of law by rendering aid to a homicide suspect because that is what their profession demanded. These officers represent the very best of the professional policing, courage under pressure, respect for human life, and unwavering commitment to their oath regardless of the circumstances. Congratulations on a job well done.
Officers James Dalton, Andrew Minton, William Murphy, Patrick Watkins, and Nicholas Rolfson received the Robert Dana Award. That's named after 29-year-old MDC police officer Robert Dana, who was shot and killed during a routine traffic stop on Blue Hills Parkway in Milton in 1986. Well, about 800 seniors from the class of 2026 at North Quincy and Quincy High Schools received their diplomas during commencement exercises for both schools earlier this week. The weather cooperated nicely for both ceremonies Monday and Tuesday evening at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Family and friends packed the stadium both nights to congratulate the graduates. City and school officials offered their congratulations and words of advice, as did the class presidents and valedictorians for both schools. The Pledge of Allegiance was led by students who were entering the military during both graduations. And the Quincy North Quincy Wind Ensemble and choirs from both high schools provided musical selections. You'll be able to see those ceremonies here on QATV and QATV.org all summer long. City of Quincy preparing for the 75th annual Flag Day Parade, Ceremony, and Fireworks celebration tomorrow night. The parade will step off at 7 o'clock in Quincy Center, make its way down Hancock Street to Merrymount Parkway to Pageant Field for the fireworks grand finale. The theme of America 250 will be reflected in this year's parade. The Grand Marshals are the so-called history keepers, representing the Adams National Historical Park, the Quincy Historical Society, the Adams Presidential Center, the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum, and the Color Guard from the USS Constitution. The mayors of Braintree and Weymouth have also been invited to march in the parade this year, and past recipients of the Richard J. Koch Youth Service Award will also participate. The mayor's father founded the parade back in 1952. QATV will carry the parade live beginning tomorrow night at 7:30. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Porchfest Quincy is not too far off. We'll get all the details next. Welcome back. Porchfest Quincy is coming up on June 27th this year, 3 to 8 p.m. at the usual spots in Wollaston, Merrymount, and out in Squantum. And today we're so pleased to welcome organizer Walter Hubley and 2 special guests. The Tokyo Tramps are here in the studio live. They'll be performing at Porchfest again this year, so we're pleased to welcome Walter and also the Tokyo Tramps. Hey, welcome everybody. Happy Porchfest.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to meet the Tokyo Tramps. And Walter, good to see you again as always.
Same to you.
You've got this year's Porchfest Quincy teal-colored shirt on this year, right?
Yes, I do. They went on sale, I want to say, back around St. Patrick's Day, and They've filled up my dining room, so it'd be wonderful if people can order theirs soon.
Okay.
They're $20 each. You can order them on the website. They'll also be available for sale at the event at a few locations. That'll be on the map. And yeah, it helps us, selling these shirts really helps us fund the event. It's one of our funding sources.
I think it's the 9th one this year, is that right?
I think you're right.
Okay.
It's, I think it's the 9th one over 10 years because we had the COVID skip.
Because there was 2020, obviously, so it would have been your 10-year anniversary.
Yeah,
this year.
10th annual, I guess you'd say. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the logistics real quick.
Sure.
About what it is, where it happens, how folks participate in it.
Yeah, so on Saturday, June 27th, it's from 3 to 8 p.m., and we're doing it in 3 neighborhoods, Wollaston Hill and Squantum and Merrymount. There'll be approximately 110 bands spread across those 3 neighborhoods.
Is that about average for the year?
It's about average.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually get anywhere between 110 to 120 bands per year. And yeah, there'll be food available. We're still nailing down the logistics on that, but I know the Assembly Restaurant will be selling food and beverages, beer and wine as well, up on Wollaston Hill. Okay. And then in Merrymount, we'll have Black's Creek Barbecue. They'll also be selling food, beer and wine. It'll also feature the Porchfest beer, which don't let me forget to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
And then the other areas, we're still kind of working out the food vendors and so forth. But they're usually something within walking distance to, if you want to have a bite to eat and keep walking and listen to the music. And
that's the key, really, to Porchfest, right? Is it's a walkable, live, free music festival.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like a very simple thing at the surface for the person who hasn't run it before. But we do try to keep bands performing near each other, but not so close that they drown each other out at the same time. So it's a bit of a Jenga puzzle to figure out.
Well, you don't want to put a classical music performance next to like a blues performance or
which is what we did in the first year.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So we had the Quincy Symphony Orchestra playing at George Trigger Burke's house, and then right around the corner we had a punk band about 5 doors down. And so I had to do a quick scramble to reschedule at the
2 different audiences, yeah.
Exactly.
Although I'm sure the musicians can appreciate each other's musical
they for
style.
Sure do, but you just can't hear the orchestra.
It's a problem, yeah.
I said, can you turn down the amplifiers? Yeah, we can't turn down the drums. We're kind of stuck with what we are. So it was.
You get enough members of the orchestra, they can blow the punk band right out of the water.
Exactly. So it's a balance. Yeah. It's a balance of wanting to make the event walkable so that you don't have to drive around town to see all the bands. Yeah. We actually want people to either use public transportation or walk as much as possible.
Yeah, or bicycle maybe.
Exactly. So it's an enjoyable event for the person attending, but we also want to make sure the bands, excuse me, have a good audience in front of them. Yeah. And in past years, we did try to distribute the festival in different neighborhoods, but we got feedback from both the bands and the hosts that in some of the neighborhoods there were more people on the porch than watching.
Too spread out.
Yeah, and so for that reason, and also to be respectful of the city's resources like police and TPAL and all that kind of stuff, we've tried to centralize it in a few neighborhoods. And the neighborhoods we chose, quite frankly, we didn't really choose them, they chose us.
Yes.
We put the word out and we picked the 3 neighborhoods where we got the most responses.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming that Squantum had a very big desire to do this. They don't have too many events on the peninsula. Wollaston Hill doesn't have any events until this one.
Okay.
And then Merrymount was the next runner-up for the highest demand.
So. And that's been the same since the start, right?
Yeah, we did do it in a few other neighborhoods, as I said, and it just didn't work out. When we tried to do it again, people said, well, if you put me in that neighborhood, it takes me an hour to get there. Yeah. It takes me 20 minutes to get set up, and I play for 5 people, and then, you know what I mean? So it wasn't really a
lot of effort, little reward, right?
Yeah, we want to be respectful. All the bands that perform are doing so on using their talent and their own treasure and their own time.
Yes.
And so we want to be respectful of their investment in spending time with us. So we want to make sure they get a good audience. And likewise, we want to make sure the spectators get a good ability to see multiple bands.
Yeah, and we are so pleased. Thank you for bringing the Tokyo Tramps with you today. This is a great opportunity to get a real life perspective as to what it is to participate in Porchfest, and also a unique story to come from the land of the rising sun, right, to the United States to perform. So we're going to introduce to you Yukiko Fujii. Right, and Satoru Nakagawa from the Tokyo Tramps. Thank you both for coming over.
Thank you for having us.
Really interesting story. Maybe Satoru, if you could tell us a bit about how the Tokyo Tramps came to be.
All right. So we met when we were studying at the Berklee College of Music.
Okay.
In the late 90s. And then first I met the drummer who's not here. I mean, he went back to Japan. And then I had the bass player as well. So we were like a sort of a trio starting, you know.
And the Japanese kids.
Yeah. And then the bass player had decided to go back to Japan, and then we were dating at that time.
Oh, all right.
And she was a voice major in school.
I see.
I didn't know she played bass, but I asked her, "Do you know any bass players?" And she said, "I do."
As a matter of fact.
The rest is history.
Also at Berkeley, you been at Berkeley?
Yes.
Okay. And the rest is history?
So
Tokyo Tramps were born?
Yeah.
Basically, that's how we started.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, since then, you have had very illustrious musical careers. Reading a little bit about your backgrounds, and you've performed at festivals all over the country, received accolades from numerous publications and reviews and critics and what have you. So, Yukiko, how would you kind of classify the Tokyo Tramps' music, if you will, its style or its repertoire?
So people think that we are kind of blues band.
Okay.
But so we try to emphasize some blues side, but we play original music. So we write our own music.
Wow.
And
so you're composers as well.
yeah, he's the main songwriter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, based on real daily life, experience, sadness, happiness, all those stuff. So we tried to find a place we can play our original music, here and there and there, everywhere. So yeah.
How did you find Porchfest Quincy? Tell me about that story.
So it go back to 2009 or 10ish.
Okay.
We found the gig on the Cottage Street, the Granite Rail.
Oh, Granite Rail.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was a kind of show.
Put together by our good friend.
Yeah. So we play like every month, or some year we played twice a month or something. So, and then we had a lot of friends and the fans in this area, and the place had to close because the development of this area.
Yeah.
But a couple years later, somehow I don't remember I found you, but there's a Porchfest going on.
Yeah.
So in Quincy.
Yes.
So we try that,
Yeah.
So, and the first couple years it was so amazing.
Really?
The Quincy Porchfest must have been one of our first Quincy, the Porchfest experience. So we go to the porch, and then all the families, friends get together and enjoying the music, enjoying the food, enjoy everything. So oh my God, that Porchfest is so good.
So it really clicked.
Yeah.
It's something that you enjoy doing. Yeah.
So and then somehow we joined every single year.
I was going to say you were one of the original band members of Porchfest Quincy, right? Yeah. So it's something that you enjoy.
Yep,
that
definitely.
Get a lot out of.
Yes.
And do you feel do you see repeat fans over the years too? Or spectators? You do? Okay.
Yeah. So even some people come up to us and say, "We saw you at the Granite Rail."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then nowadays, we saw you at the Porchfest a couple years ago, or in the park last year or something like
at
that.
Stafford
So
Park?
yeah, we
Okay.
feel the connections with the people in Quincy.
Sure.
So,
I'm curious to hear your story, Satoru, maybe start with you, but why you left Japan and came to America?
Well, music, really.
Music?
Yeah, we started, I started listening to American music when I was a kid.
Like what?
Bruce Springsteen was
Bruce
my
Springsteen.
first hero.
Really?
So where that,
Is that where the name?
Yes, Tramps Like
Tramps
Us.
Like
Baby,
Us.
We were born to run.
Okay.
My way of
I see.
paying a tribute
I gotcha.
to my hero. And then, yes, I had this dream of, someday I'm going to go to America and then, learn how to play music,
Yes.
American music. I want to write my music, just like Springsteen. And that's how I came here. Yes.
And
then,
Yukiko, your same story?
Yeah,
The music,
the music.
drew you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What would you be your American music influences?
So I was born in Tokyo, grew up in Tokyo.
Okay.
There was a radio station for the American military people, based people in Tokyo. And it was like a 24/7 playing music or some talk shows
Yes.
from US. And I was like, oh my God, I love American music.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my junior high school days. And then I had a dream, to play music. But in Japan, we have to study a lot. We have to work hard, and not much opportunities for playing music or something. So, and then,
So you were both a couple of rebels. You're like, we want to bust out of here and go play our music, right?
it was just to follow the heart.
Yeah.
I think that's what we did.
And has it been what you'd hoped it would be? Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
It has been, yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Walter, it must be music to your ears to hear this story, because Porchfest really gives musicians like this a venue.
Yeah, and it's of all ranges. I mean, they're tremendously talented and professionally trained, but then we have folks who learned on their own, and it's a wide range, and that's what I like about it. And we can have anything from classical music to jazz to R&B to original, maybe their own genre, who knows, right? But that's what we really like, is to have a wide range of talent of different genres.
Right.
And that, I mean, you never really know what you have in common with your neighbor until that opportunity presents itself, right? And that's how you get to know different people, and the feedback that I get. So one of our volunteers, the husband and wife that volunteers with us each year, they explained that they moved into the neighborhood, and it wasn't until Porchfest they met more people on Porchfest than they did in the entire 2 years first moving in.
I believe it, yeah, sure.
And that's because you find commonality.
Right.
And music is one of those things that kind of transcends all different types of demographic and socioeconomic.
It's a human experience,
Yeah,
right? Music and food, they're the two big
exactly.
ones, right?
It's funny how you add those ingredients together, and you usually get a good outcome.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Speaking of, you want me to remind you about the Porchfest beer.
Oh, yes. And so
music, food, and beverages.
Yeah, so there's maybe two things I want to talk
Okay.
about briefly, and that is, so with Saturdays in the Park through the Wollaston Hill Neighborhood Association, one thing my wife and I do at Porchfest is we walk around and we listen to the bands, and we think, hey, let's invite them to come to our September events.
A little rehearsal.
And so the volunteer performance turns into a paying gig in September.
Okay.
And it's kind of our way of saying thank you for contributing to the Porchfest
Sure.
event, and giving them another opportunity in another venue. So we've had the Tokyo Tramps down at Saturdays in the Park, and they're a big hit. And so when Jay Southwood at Break Rock Brewing reached out to me for our usual Porchfest beer that we do, so each year Break Rock Brewing brews a special beer for Porchfest, and a portion of the proceeds go towards helping the festival, so paying for porta potties, website, things like that.
There are costs, yeah.
And just like what we're doing these shirts.
Yeah.
And so Jay's been a great partner at Break Rock for several years, since they opened, really. And so this year he reached out to me and said, well, I'd like to do the beer announcement, beer party, release party at Kilroy Square at the Beer Garden. And he said, can you find a good Porchfest band? And I immediately said, I think I know who I'm calling. And so I reached out to the
Satoru and
Tokyo
Yukiko,
Tramps.
step right up.
Yeah, and I just, what better than a band that's been with us pretty much almost from the beginning.
Certainly,
And
yeah.
so it was a great combination. So we had a fun night a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes.
And the
That
beer's
was fun.
great. It's a watermelon lager, which I wasn't expecting to like, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a fruity lager drinker, but I did enjoy it, and they did sell out at the event that night.
Okay.
And just a little plug, it's available at the tap room at Break Rock. It's also available at Wally Wine, I believe, and a few other liquor stores around
And it
the city.
helps the festival.
And it helps the festival.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Great. This year, Tokyo Tramps on Winthrop Avenue up on Wollaston Hill, is that right?
Yes, 90
Winthrop.
Winthrop.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And can you
6
give us,
o'clock.
give us a little hint as to what you'll be performing with some original pieces? Some, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
definitely.
normally mix them up, originals and some good covers.
Okay,
I think, yeah.
excellent. If folks stop by and see you, we hope that they'll tell you that they saw you here on QATV. That'd be
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Walter, we've been putting the website up for you. I know your social media as well.
Great.
Anything else we should let folks know about?
Yeah, just a few
Yeah.
things I wanted to acknowledge. So Savannah and Stephen Balcom, who help us out on Wollaston Hill, and Savannah is in charge of the website and social media. She was on with us last
Yes,
year.
yep.
Thank you to them. Tim and Carol Wood help out over in the Teresa Road area. And then Bill and Laura Lebo help out in Merrymount, get things organized. And then I have to give a huge shout out to my wife Kathy, because she helps me manage both the Wollaston Hill and the Squantum neighborhoods, which is a lot of work. And when the husband and wife team is not driving each other crazy, we're a pretty good team. So I appreciate all the work that she does.
Certainly.
And then a quick shout out, a quick thank you to Quincy Police Department, Natural Resources Department, so many other city departments that contribute in different ways, and then Mayor Koch for being supportive of the event.
Excellent.
It's really been a great experience over the past 10 years.
June 27th, again, 3 to 8 p.m., Wollaston Hill, Merrymount, and Squantum, porchfestquincy.org. Website to go to. Thank you all for coming in. Have a wonderful performance again this year, and Walter, good luck.
Thanks.
Hopefully the weather will cooperate. It's rain or shine.
Yes.
It has to cooperate. Maybe it'll be just like today. It's very summer-like out there. Hazy today with temperatures up around 90. This afternoon there might be a thunderstorm blowing in later on this evening, so look out for that. Looks like a pretty summer-like weekend too. Tomorrow, sunny and dry. It'll be hot, around 90. Same thing on Sunday with some unsettled weather in the afternoon. We get relief here on Monday. Sun and clouds, a high in the low 80s. Thanks again to Walter Hubley and the Tokyo Tramps for joining us here on Currently in Quincy. Thank you to our crew, and thank you for watching. Monday here on the show, the Arc of the South Shore will be stopping by. We'll talk about their upcoming summer soiree. Meantime, visit our website, please. It's qatv.org. You will find all of our latest programs, along with news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.